This rose bush, by a strange chance, has been kept alive in history. But whether it had merely survived out of the stern old wilderness so long after the fall of the gigantic pines and oaks that originally overshadowed it, or whether, as there is fair authority for believing, it had sprung up under the footsteps of the sainted Anne Hutchinson as she entered the prison door, we shall not take upon us to determine. Finding it so directly on the threshold of our narrative, which is now about to issue from that inauspicious portal, we could hardly do otherwise than pluck one of its flowers and present it to the reader. It may serve, let us hope, to symbolize some sweet moral blossom that may be found along the track or relieve the darkening close of a tale of human frailty and sorrow. It's around 11:30 p.m. on the 13th of July, 2026, and I'm out in our trailer looking up the street. Now, when the 14th rolls around in about 30 minutes, it will be the 14th of July, and when the 14th of July gets here, I will have been trying to get together with the person I've been calling Bishuasi for the length of time that the United States was at war with Japan during World War II. 3 years, 8 months, and 7 days. And in all that time, I have not gotten the slightest proof, if you will, that any relationship between me and this person I'm calling Bishuasi exists. I don't have a shred of proof that I could take to a court or take to any authority and say, this is proof that she does know about me and she does care about me. I have no such proof. Now, on that point, I've said that I've got mountain ranges of circumstantial evidence that America's Man of the Year did sexually molest me while I was an adolescent. I have no such circumstantial evidence for the existence of this relationship between the person I've been calling Bishuasi and me. I just want to make sure that that point is made. So I've been saying to myself that I do not actually feel that I am going to meet this person I've been calling Bashir. I don't feel like this is going to happen. But that is no different from how I was when I was about to get into a relationship with the Nazi concentration camp survivor that I did get into a relationship with over 40 years ago with regard to the feeling I had at that time that I was going to be intimate with this woman. Now, by all indications, I was headed for intimacy with this woman, but I did not feel that I was. This is hard to explain, but I'm saying that I do not feel that I am going to meet this person called Bashuasi. The feeling is not there. Okay, I'm looking out the door at the landscape there, and it's like she's going to come down that street in her car, stop and get out and meet me. Well, somebody did do that a year ago. Somebody came down that street, stopped right near that tree. I don't know if you can see that tree. You see that tree there? Pretty much beside that tree on the street. And got out, was standing there on my front lawn. And the person looked like this person I'm calling Bashuasi. But I didn't make any move to come out of this trailer. I was in this trailer a year ago when that happened. Now, even though that did happen a year ago, I do not feel that I'm going to meet this person called Bashuasi. Well, as I say, that is no different from how I was when I was about to get into an affair with this woman 27 years older than I was. That is my mother's age in relation to mine. I could see I was headed for that, but I didn't feel like that was actually going to happen. There was no feeling like I'm going to end up in an intimate relationship with this person. I did not feel that. Okay? I'm trying to make that point. Now, as far as the relationship with Bashuasi goes, this is a far different situation. This is some folks, certainly inquisitioners here in the United States, would call this delusional. My entire view that there's any relationship at all between me and this person, the United States inquisitioners would say there is no such relationship between you and this person. You're deluded in thinking that there is. Well, to that, let me answer. I disagree. I disagree that I'm delusional about this, and I feel that even if I do not meet this person, that is no proof that I am delusional about the relationship I believe exists between me and her. If I do not meet her, nothing's going to happen between me and her, obviously. And I'm not going to be angry at her or anyone else. Okay? Because I'll have to accept that I might have been mistaken, and therefore I was mistaken, I was wrong, and I'll have to go ahead with my life accepting that I was wrong. That's all. So we'll see what time shows on this. I'm treating the entire experience as if it's headed for some kind of closure in the way of me either meeting or not meeting this person soon, because as I've been pointing out, I've devoted 3 years, 8 months, and 7 days, beginning soon, when we hit the 14th of July, and I'm not going to be able to spend much more time on this. I'm just not. So those are my thoughts as I'm out here, hoping that something will happen, and those are my thoughts. Now, let me say that a car did just go by up the street right after I turned this camera off on pause at 41 minutes after 11. And, 41 here is highly symbolic of 1941, the year that World War II started with Japan. So the car's going left to right, which means it's headed westward, out of the neighborhood. I was mentioning a supervisor I had when I was in the work world who I highly respected. He was a direct descendant of an American hero, Nathan Hale, who is famous for saying, "I regret that I have but one life to give for my country," right before he was executed by the British during the Revolutionary War for being caught and held to be by the British a spy. Whether he was a spy or not, I really don't know. At any rate, this supervisor used to say to me when I was writing reports, which is what I did in the job that I got with his encouragement and guidance. He used to tell me, when writing these reports, do not try to tell all you know. And he said that was very important, and I did decide that that was good advice. So when I'm making these reports, talking into my camera, I'm often thinking that I could add this, add that, and so on. But I'm remembering what he told me in another context, certainly. But what he told me, I think, holds true. Not only in the job I had, but in the reports I'm making now, that it's a good idea not to try to tell all I know when I'm making recordings like this one. Now, since I have plenty of time here, okay, I want to say that being out in this trailer this way, alone as I am, at my age, and realizing that United States Inquisitioners would be saying that this is delusional and symptomatic of severe mental disease. And me having been in this battle for most of my life and having no idea whether anything's going to happen here or not, I don't know whether I can convey the sense of near hopelessness a person like me could feel being out here the way I am, thinking that something might happen. Nevertheless, I gotta say that with the end of my life approaching through old age, I definitely want to give this all I got, because from my point of view, a relationship with this person looks like a road to salvation. It's not just a relationship. It's far more than that. So to me, this is worth it. Now, at the same time, I got to say, I've been in this struggle day after day after day after day after day after day after day for years. And I've gotten little back in terms of victory on the points that I'm making here. And so I want to try to convey the sense of that isolation I've been calling near solitary confinement in life that I've been in for over 40 years, and what it's like, and what a battle it is to keep up the struggle I'm in from the point of view I have toward that struggle, where I'm saying I am not suffering from a mental disease, and I never have been. And all I'm saying now about this person I'm calling Bashuasi is true, and the relationship between her and me is real. And if it so happens that she does not meet me, I'm going to say it is not because she doesn't want to, it's because she can't. And that is how I will conclude this matter in my own mind, if that is the way things work out. Let me take a moment to talk a little bit more about how when that person did show up in front of my house about a year ago, around this time, it was a few minutes after midnight, that car drifted down the street there in front of my house and came to a stop around where that tree is. At a few minutes after midnight, and the time right now is less than 10 minutes before midnight. So it was right around now, about a year ago. Why was I petrified with fear when that person showed up like that? I could see it was a woman, and that it might be the woman I wanted to meet. Well, I was petrified with fear because it did not quite look like that woman I had been seeing on television. It looked like a younger woman than the woman I'd been seeing. Now, right after I saw that person in front of my house, I saw a report by the person who resembled her who stopped in my front lawn, and I could see that when I compared the person on television now with the person who showed up in front of my lawn, they were nearly identical, which means the person I had been seeing on TV was now looking much younger than she had previously on television. And my proof for this is that I had asked my wife, who's like an expert at this kind of thing. My wife is Asian and she's deaf. So, if you ask my wife, how old do you think this person is? She's almost always right. In fact, I've never heard her to be wrong. And let me say about her that when I met her, she was the first person I ever met as an adult who guessed my age correctly. No one ever had, because I looked very young for my age. Yet she got my age first time. When I said, how old do you think I am? She said 40. And she was right. She was the first person to guess my age. Here she is. What? I will, okay. She's saying to fix the lock on that door. Yeah, it's private. Oh, I will, okay, but I'm just taking it easy right now. She's concerned that I'm leaving this door open like that. Why was I petrified with fear? Because the person who stopped in front of my lawn, like I said, did not look like the person I'd been seeing on TV. Until like the next time I saw her on TV. So my wife said that the person I had been seeing on TV when I showed her a picture, she said that person was 40. And then I showed her the picture of the same person and how she looked right after that woman appeared on my front lawn. And she said that version of the same person was 30. Okay? So, let me put this on. Wait a minute, my wife is coming back here. Why? She says she wants us to be private. She has no idea what I'm talking about right now. In fact, she doesn't know if I'm filming with this camera. I'm not telling her because if I did, she wouldn't want to be seen on camera. Okay. All right. Okay. I have this. Wait a minute. Where is it? Move that. Move that out. This here. Okay. Okay, that satisfied her. I bought her that nightgown she's wearing from Walmart. She likes it. Bought it a month or two ago. I thought it was a dress. I didn't realize it was a nightgown. I grabbed it off a rack there at Walmart, thinking it was like a summer dress. And when I got home, she said, "These are pajamas." Okay, so I was explaining that way back when I was 13, and I had to withdraw from religion classes that put me together with this girl I thought was just absolutely beautiful. This is the first time in my life that I saw a woman who I was attracted to this way. What? You don't have a key. Okay. She locked herself out of the house. Yeah, I have. Yes. I have key. Yes. No, she has a key. She wanted to make sure I had one. Okay. I was saying that after I had been taken out of that class, I found that when my mother was driving me and my younger brother 4 years to school in the morning, just about every morning when we reached the intersection of Mary Knoll and Wilson Lane, she was on her way to walking to the junior high school just up the road. And when I saw her there at that intersection, I was suddenly petrified with fear. Okay? And my interpretation of what was happening was that it was some kind of altered reality experience where I'm saying, I don't think my mother was aware, or I don't think that person there, that girl walking up the street there, was in my mother's reality. She was in mine, but I think if my mother looked over where I was looking, that girl would not have been there. Now, people are saying that's a hallucination. No, that was not a hallucination, and it was not what you call a photon leak. That was a mixture of all alternate realities in my view. So I'm saying that if it turns out that this person I've been calling Bishuasi is 30 years old and not 40, we have the same kind of mixture of realities going on. And as I've been saying, part of the reason that I've had a lot of the problems I've had in life is because I've been kind of lost in a mixture of alternate realities. That's the best way I can say it. Since this recording is getting so long, I'm going to stop this recording now and close it out. And, well, if I want to record more, I'll start a new recording. That's all from me for now. Let me see what time it is. It is 2 minutes after midnight, so it is now the 14th of July, 2026, and that means that I've been trying to start a relationship, trying to meet this person I've been calling Bishuasi now for as long as the United States was involved during World War II in its war with Japan. Bye for now.